So someone that I speak about, I share a lot of his stuff is Ram Dass. And there's a piece of wisdom that really resonated with me that I want to share with you guys if you haven't heard it. It's a quick short story here. But he was seeking enlightenment and he was saying, how do I get enlightened? What do I do to get enlightened? He's asking his teacher. And his teacher said, love everybody and tell the truth. And it starts with loving everybody. I believe when I first heard it, it's go out and love everybody. So he went out and he loved everybody. And then the next mission was tell the truth. And he quickly realized the truth is that he doesn't love everybody. And many of us can get caught into at some point in our life, whether it was the younger, naive version of us, or, maybe still having trouble with that, it's being a people pleaser, right? This is not the essence of loving other people. The essence of loving other people is to know thyself. As you know thyself, you see you see yourself in other people. And not that it just becomes easy. It's like, it's the only way it becomes easier is not by people pleasing. It's by growing in your own internal understanding, your own clarity. The more that you can see your enemy as yourself, the more that you know you have the wisdom to meet that person where they're at and take the right action. And what comes with that is making the mistakes. So you have to enter the arena. It's I've shared this on different videos, some podcasts. One of my favorite quotes is "The man in the arena." It's easy to stay on the sidelines. It's another thing to engage, right? Because when you're entering the arena, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to screw up. You're going to be judged. You're going to be mocked, and especially as you rise in love, because deep down people want that, so they're going to poke at that, and a lot of that's unconscious. Because are you real, or are you just a people pleaser? Are you just being the likable person? Are you just appealing to people's egos, or are you really a genuine loving being? And I think it should poke. I think people should poke at that because it really does expose whether that's genuine or not. And oftentimes it's not genuine. People can appear very nice. That's why a lot of people protect their hearts. They guard their hearts, rightfully so, because people get pulled into the illusion. I appeal to your ego. I say nice things to you, and oh, they like me. They're nice to me. And then what happens is we go out seeking validation instead of seeking what is right, what is just, what is moral. Instead, the need is just to feel good. And then if we're not feeling good, we need to get that. We become almost energy vampires. I need to be liked. I need to be liked. And if people are honest, we could all identify that at some point in our life. It's the needy child within. I need attention. I need attention. And I think on a certain level we need validation, but it's the right type of validation. It's genuine validation. When someone genuinely validates positive behavior that's aligned with higher values, it's a good thing. It reaffirms. It's positive affirmation. It's positive reinforcement. And that positive reinforcement has to be based off of a deeper value system. And this is where the problem becomes, the objective truth. What is the objective truth? What is the truth? Because what one person thinks is a deep value, another person completely disagrees with. And this is, I believe, like the spiritual war that we're going through. And but to bring this back, really think about that, because the deepest truths are often very simple. Love everybody and tell the truth. Because as you start to interact with different relationships, and you can think of all the relationships in your life right now, what are the ones that are disconnected? What are the ones that are lacking truth? What are the ones that are lacking love? And it's this union between both that is really necessary. And I've spoken about the importance of having real, genuinely motherly, feminine in your life, and also having deep, masculine, fatherly people in your life. And you need both. You need those who really see the ugly truths of the world, the fatherly aspect, the dark place of the world, um the the danger of the world, and to flip that from negative into positive. And to me, that's the highest aspect of that Father is with built into the Son. I am the Father are one, Christ says. This is the idea that, right, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, when his heart is aligned with the Father, right, the logos, the logic, right, the common sense, we can say, when those are united, we are in alignment. We speak truth. We don't care what other people think, right? But we do care. We're coming from our heart, but we're also not going to compromise what is the right way, the logical way to operate in the world. We're not pulled in by, people can't just butter us up to make us feel good to do the thing that other people want us to do. Because when you realize deep down, people will say one thing, do another. Their heart's desires are corrupted. Speak in my own experience, when I've wanted things, I think I wanted that thing, I want that person, or I want that thing that's going to make me happy, or I want the money, or I want this. And at a certain level, there's nothing wrong with wanting, but the disconnect becomes this will fulfill me rather than I am fulfilled. And these things are tools. This is part of life. There's nothing wrong with money. There's nothing wrong with wanting somebody, but thinking that that's the source of your identity, that's what's going to fulfill you. That's the disconnect. So going back, it's practicing in loving and telling the truth and starting with yourself, that you are loved, but you also have to be real with yourself. You have to tell yourself the truth. Where is your weaknesses in life? What are the things that you're hiding? What are the things that really, where is the anxiety in your life? Where's the depression? Are you living as a victim? These are the difficult conversations that we all face in life, and we can avoid them or we can go into them. And when we go into them, we open ourselves up to judgment. We open ourselves up to a lot of negativity, seemingly negativity, because the ego will say, "Oh, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad." That Check out the Chinese farmer I have. It's one of my favorite small little parables, short stories of how we really can't see the deeper, the bigger picture, and the ego claims arrogance that it can see, but you'll never know enough to make a decision. You'll never know if something's good or bad. So trusting that all things work out for the good is an act of faith. But this last point on loving everybody and telling the truth, I invite you to do that. And again, if you're somebody who's very lovey, practice telling the truth. Speak the truth to people. I've brought up the example before. It's like the movie Liar Liar. You think it's true. You think it's easy, right? Just telling the truth. Well, Mike, I tell the truth. What are you talking about? Do you tell the truth? That movie Liar Liar is a great example. If you haven't seen it, old 90s 2000 movie. um it is something that really is a reminder that how many white lies we say all the time, when we're at the office or when we're out. The things that we will say to people they're not fully genuine. It's very robotic. It's the things that people say, the monotonous conversations that people have. How's the weather? What do you think? Like, it's just dead. It's dead. So truth doesn't necessarily have to be telling the truth. Well, this is true. This is true. This is true. It can be it's a freshness. It's real. It's being real. Now, are you saying what you want to say because it's fresh, or you're saying it because you're fearing silence in conversation? So there's different levels to this, but I invite you to go out into the world and speak the truth and love everybody. And again, as you rise in that truth, that that negative energy, because most people who are not living at a level of truth, they're hypocrites, they have anger issues, they're stuck in lust, or they're apathetic or lazy, whatever those negative vibrations, which we've all experienced at some level in our life. That's how we grow in the compassion for the person. But also, the only way we get out of there is by speaking truth, sacrificing your own pride and saying, I have to admit that I'm not being that best version of myself. And in admitting and taking ownership, that's how we grow in courage and the willingness to take action moving forward. And that's how we grow in love. That's how we grow in reason. That's how we grow in general. But that would invite us open ourselves up to attack. The ego, that's the worst thing for the ego to do. The ego wants to appear as it's in control. It has everything under control. But as we're seeing in our world right now, the ego doesn't have things in control. In fact, the the ego that has been not in its proper place is being dismantled as we speak. We see that in institutions. We see that on a collective scale, not trusting institutions because we fail to trust ourselves. So we put our trust outside of ourselves. And because of that, we're disappointed that other people are letting us down because we don't trust our instinct. And if you speak to the heart of the people, people know deep down when they're being lied to and when they're not. The exception of those who are so far lost, but even those, we can all pick each other up out of this. Wherever you're at in your life, we have a responsibility, I believe, to show love to people. But the paradox of that is sometimes you just need to speak the truth. Sometimes you need to just walk away from relationships. Sometimes, so the path that you have to walk, you have to realize what you have to do. Some people don't want to hear the truth. So you speaking it, you're just doing it, you're just hearing yourself talk and you're wasting your time, your valuable time. So there's a lot of nuance to this, but deep down, I think it's something to always remember because the world can make you very cynical and you just say, I don't care about other people. And you become cold and actually disconnected, and it's not the higher truth within. Um, but the other side is that you can get very wishy-washy, which I believe a lot of the world has also gotten. It's all about feelings, all about feelings. You know, it's the devouring mother. It's the so kind. What's the quote? It's so sweet you make your teeth rot. I mean, that's where we're at now. It's so sweet. We we just want to make people feel good. We will say the nice things, but deep down, we're disconnected. We have problems here in our country, and we're worried about things overseas. We need to worry about our own home has to be in order first. And again, I think it's a great lesson that the way that we can really impact the world is not by saving the planet, saving the world. It starts by saving ourselves and being that best version through love, caring for other people, really having a heart of service, but also speaking the truth and not compromising your values. I hope that's helpful for you guys. Little words of wisdom. Love everybody and tell the truth.